Hey everybody, what is going on? Icy Cat here. Today we have an exciting preview of the new map for the South Korean operators. We're going to go over the full trailer and then break it all down. So that was a really exciting look at the new map for the South Korean season. They're calling this Mok Myeok Tower. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not, but let's go ahead and take a look at things a little bit slower and see what we can figure out. So we have this opening shot. We can see the skyline in the background with the mountains and the city below. Right up on top there, you can see what looks like some kind of a hallway with a lit open area. That connects to an image we'll take a look at in just a moment. Then we get a shot looking down the surface of the building, and then we drift across the open rooftop. Now, it could be that this may be a possible spawn location. Obviously, with the rooftop access like this, there's going to be some that have to start up here. There's obviously only so many places you can start from, being that this is at the top of this tower. Then we get an interesting shot of this hallway. And the reason why I think this is interesting is because this actually looks like it might be the reverse angle of this other image that we saw here. From here, the camera is going to drift downwards into another hallway in a level below it. This has a very industrial look. We have concrete and metal catwalks. It's very industrial looking, very cool. We're going to drop down another level yet, and we come into the open area here. We can see we have lots of big expansive windows that let in all the sunlight. The architecture in here is absolutely stunning. It's very modern, very sleek. It has a very clean look overall. This honestly looks different than any other map we've seen in the game. Here's a good example of one of the multi-level areas we can see for combat. You're going to be able to engage from firefights from either above or below and have lots of good sight lines in these kinds of areas. These are also going to be incredibly interesting areas to use things like Valkyrie cameras or other observation tools in. This will allow you to keep watch on a very wide open area and see multiple levels at the same time. So this is a really interesting shot. We get a couple vantage points on it. We see we have another area with multiple level perspectives. Here's that same area from a slightly different vantage, and you can see that we have an area we can go into both on the level we're on as well as one above it at least. Now we're going to go into one of our first interior room close-ups. This looks to be some kind of a restaurant area that says that there's a menu and there's clearly a kitchen over there on the left-hand side. We also get our first look at a breachable trapdoor up there in the middle of the ceiling. So this is almost certainly an objective room or one very close to one. Then we'll come out here in this exterior hallway. You'll notice on the left side there is some signage which denotes that this is the second floor. And by that pink chair, you will also notice our first drone hole that we can see. As we come into this next room, it looks to be some kind of an executive office perhaps, and we have very clearly an open window there on the side. It's possible that this might be some type of an objective room also. This is an interesting room for a couple of reasons. You can see that it has a very open design, but there's lots of cover points. We have a support pillar, lots of furniture, heavy-duty concrete walls. So this would be the kind of area where you could get into a firefight and hold multiple angles and positions, but it's still really good because you can have a lot of cover points and you can hold it well. We'll also notice another trapdoor on the floor here. Next up, we come into what looks like perhaps some kind of a reception area or something like that. And then we'll cut across to more of a traditional bar scene. Most buildings in the game seem to have one, so let's keep up the trend. Here we have some kind of a retail shop. They're selling merchandise, and we can also get another look at a trapdoor on the floor in the left corner. There's also some kind of a room in the background, and looks like we may have several breachable walls in here. It's possible that this may be an objective room, and if so, there's a lot of defensible cover points behind these countertops and shelving units. Then there's this hallway with this very interesting lighting pattern going on. Now we have a really interesting vantage point. This one looks down through most of the open atrium area. We can see we have some kind of a double back stairwell here, and we can get a view on multiple balconies. There's this interesting structure that also rotates and changes. Hopefully it's not too distracting during gameplay, but it is really cool. You'll also notice here that this is our first exterior night shot. We can see outside and the city below looks really well lit, and that will carry through into our next image here. Below us is the city of Seoul, South Korea, and it is a very busy area of the city. You can see there's lots of lights and traffic down below. And lastly, we close on this exterior shot, which shows the outside of the building. Now, right away, I have to say that this looks to be one of the coolest maps I've seen come to the game so far. It looks very dense in that there's a lot of stuff packed into a relatively tight area. Plus, there's a lot of verticality going on, something we don't tend to see in many maps. We have a lot of multi-level angles and perspectives going on. You can be on one floor and engage a target on a completely separate floor, or you can use those, as we talked about a little bit before, with using, some kind of intel, whether it's an attacker drone or a Valkyrie cam or something like that, to keep overwatch on a large area covering multiple floors. The design elements and architecture here are just insane with how cool they are. This looks less like it was put together by a map design team and more like it was put together by some kind of modern architecture firm. Now, while we do get a good sense for the verticality of the map, it's a bit hard to get a feel for the horizontal aspects of the map, so we don't know how spread out everything is. We have seen a trend with some of the DLC maps to get a little big. A lot of people thought Theme Park was very maze-like and oversized. Skyscraper was a pretty big map when it came out too. Coastline was probably somewhere in between, so it's a little hard to say where this one sort of is going to be falling into that. I bet there's also going to be a lot of interesting places where you can vault over things and land on ledges below, like maybe hopping off the railing from one balcony and then landing on the walkway that's below it and things like that, being able to move and flank very quickly, whether you're an attacker and you're trying to get into a new position, or you're roaming and you're trying to go for that flank on defense. It really looks like there's going to be some sick routes in here. But again, those open floor plans are really going to allow you to kind of see some of these things coming too, so you're going to be able to move about freely, but it's not going to be as sneaky as maybe doing it in some other maps. We can say that we have at least 3 floors to work with here for sure, possibly even 4 or maybe 5, depending on how much of that rooftop area kind of comes into play. When the concept for the observation tower was first announced, I had a few people ask me, did I think that maybe there would be like glass floors that you could shoot out and then people would fall to their deaths? I would really think that that is an unlikely game mechanic that they would put in. That seems like a very low skill way to get kills. Just throwing like an impact grenade or something on the floor while somebody's running across it as somebody falls to their death just doesn't seem like something that would really get put into the game. So I don't think we're going to be seeing anybody falling like, 60 or 100 stories or whatever it is to their deaths through that. It should be really interesting to see what they also do with spawn positions in a map like this. Every map traditionally has an area where you can come at it from the sides and you make kind of like a horizontal spread from the outside in. And I don't know how much you're going to be able to do that on a map like this. The entire outer perimeter is enclosed in glass. Now, it's possible that there could be some sections of the map that they haven't shown us where those spawn entry points might be, so, who knows what there could be on those outer edges, but it looks like we may not be able to come in those ways. So the rooftop looks like a possible spawn position, but where else might you be able to start? I mean, that can't be the only area. Then again, there may be areas where they decide to put them actually starting inside the structure, and it's just going to be really interesting to see the way that they sort of mix up the way spawn positions for attackers are handled in a map like this. Now, this map is going to be demonstrated for the first time during a live play match during the Pro League Finals. This will be occurring on November 19th. At that time, the show match will have this map with the new operators, just kind of showing off all the new stuff. The anticipated release date for the new map to come out looks like it might be November 21st, which is a Tuesday. That is not yet officially confirmed, but historically they tend to always release the new map and operators the Tuesday following the Pro League reveal. So if that trend holds true, we will see this new content come out on that day. Now, everybody gets the map right away on the 21st, whether you have Season Pass or not. If you have the Season Pass, you will get the new operators that day. If you don't, you will have to wait 7 days for the operators. But again, everybody gets the map for free right away. So what do you guys think about the new observation tower map for South Korea? Let me know down in the comments below or share with me over at IcyCat25 on either Facebook or Twitter. Now, there will be more content coming for teaser trailers. We will be seeing new looks at the new operators coming out. So if you want to stay up to date on all that latest info, then please do like and subscribe. Also, make sure you click that notification icon so you stay up to date as soon as new information becomes available when I upload it. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.